Welcome to the debate. Right now, there is a massive fracture in how we approach human life extension. On one side, we have these $2 million annual protocols.
Right, the young blood plasma exchanges.
Exactly. Young blood, advanced gene therapies designed to, fundamentally reprogram our biological clocks. But on the other side, there is a growing consensus that the most scientifically powerful longevity tools are virtually free.
Yeah, morning sunlight, deliberate cold exposure, community.
Right. So we are looking at whether true longevity requires pushing beyond our evolutionary limits with highly technical medical interventions, or if optimizing our baseline biology is the most potent path to life extension. I'll be arguing for the latter.
And I come at it from a different way. We are, I think, increasingly conflating baseline health maintenance with true aging reversal.
How so?
Well, eating a protein-rich diet or getting morning sunlight are undeniably essential for good life, but they are simply mechanisms for avoiding premature decline. They don't rewrite human biology.
I see why you think that, but let me give you a different perspective on just how powerful these endogenous systems are. We aren't just talking about feeling good. Take deliberate cold exposure, for example. It isn't just a wellness trend, right?
Okay.
It triggers a profound sympathetic nervous system response. A 30-second cold stimulus forces a sustained release of dopamine and norepinephrine, while simultaneously, blunting pro-inflammatory cytokines.
Sure, the acute stress response.
Exactly. Or look at morning sunlight hitting the melanops and receptors in your eyes within 20 minutes of waking. It definitively calibrates the suprachiasmatic nucleus, which governs every circadian rhythm in the body. You don't need a $300 wearable for that.
Well, no one is disputing that the body has incredible regulatory systems, but labeling those basic physiological needs as biohacking or life extension, it fundamentally dilutes the science of longevity.
I don't know if it dilutes it.
I mean, you were describing health span optimization. Yes, reducing systemic inflammation keeps you from dying early, but avoiding premature death is not the same as extending the maximum human lifespan. True aging reversal requires altering cellular senescence in ways our evolutionary biology never intended. We have to break the biological ceiling, not just perfectly maintain the floor beneath it.
That's an interesting point, though. I would frame it differently. You really can't break a biological ceiling if the metabolic foundation is compromised.
Fair enough.
Which is why optimizing these accessible behaviors is the literal prerequisite for any advanced cellular reprogramming. Let's look at protein pacing. The standard approach of eating a light breakfast and then consuming a massive, 80-gram protein meal at 8 p.m. is a metabolic bottleneck. It is like trying to parallel park a school bus.
A school bus?
Yeah. The body's insulin response and enzymatic machinery, they simply cannot shuttle that acute, massive amino acid load into muscle tissue all at once. By pacing protein, hitting that crucial roughly 30-gram leucine threshold per meal, you maximally stimulate muscle protein synthesis throughout the day.
Right, which prevents frailty.
Exactly. It preserves lean mass, which is your primary armor against the frailty that ultimately kills us.
That is a compelling argument, but have you considered the intellectual distinction between preventing sarcopenia and actually enhancing maximum lifespan?
They seem pretty inextricably linked to me.
Well, preventing frailty ensures you don't break down earlier than your genetics dictated, but frailty is a symptom of aging, not the underlying root cause. It does not rewrite your cellular destiny. If we decide that eating the correct amount of protein is the pinnacle of longevity, we lose the vocabulary needed for actual scientific life extension.
I'm not completely convinced by that, mostly because it drastically undervalues how our biology naturally repairs itself under the right conditions. Take the physiological impact of psychological stress.
Oh, definitely, a huge factor.
Right, we know that strong community connection and emotional regulation directly downregulate the HPA axis. Lowering sympathetic tone and reducing chronic cortisol exposure prevents the degradation of muscle tissue, and it limits epigenetic aging far more effectively than any expensive experimental adaptogen. You don't necessarily need a multi-million-dollar protocol when the human nervous system has this immense built-in capacity.
I'm sorry, but I just don't buy that framework. Let me tell you why. Dismissing advanced, highly technical protocols simply because they are currently inaccessible to everyday Americans is intellectually short-sighted.
In what way?
Well, every major medical breakthrough, from the first MRI machines to the sequencing of the human genome, started as a massively expensive, completely inaccessible prototype. By redefining longevity to merely mean having an optimized lifestyle, we remove the very incentive needed to cure the underlying pathology of aging.
It seems we are looking at two vastly different horizons here. From my perspective, optimizing our natural biological systems through targeted, mechanically sound behaviors is the most evidence-based path we have to dramatically extend human health right now. We have immense power over our biological outcomes without spending a dime.
And I would maintain that while those foundational habits are undeniably essential, we have to keep our eyes on the frontier. We must distinguish between standard health maintenance and the rigorous scientific pursuit of outliving our natural evolutionary limits.
We certainly agree on the undeniable physiological power of these foundational habits, even if we remain fundamentally divided on what qualifies as true life extension. So we leave it to you to decide. Is the goal of biological engineering simply to avoid rusting out the machinery we were born with, or is it time to completely reinvent the machine?